Ladies and gentlemen, live again, Facebook Live on this, Thursday? Wow, what is today? The 10th of June. Almost halfway through the 6th month of the year. Unbelievable. Hope you're all doing well. And today we have a special guest from the lovely state of California, Indian Wells office, like right down the street from that wonderful tennis deal that you guys hear, which is gorgeous. Okay, we have Debbie Behlman. Debbie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rick.
And I think it's interesting. I'd like you to tell them, I'll start off by telling them a little about yourself, but also I'd like to hear a little bit because I know you just joined the company. Okay, you were recruited by that wonderful human being out there. What's her name again? Oh, yeah, Gina. All right, to the office. So tell us a little about that transition too, but tell them a little about yourself if you could, please.
Absolutely. So I've been a realtor for 16 years. Joined in 2000 or got my license in 2005 when I transitioned out of another business and joined. I have an identical twin sister, and we decided that we were going to stay in the desert and that real estate would be a good opportunity for us. So I joined as basically a team in 2005, 2006. Got about 6 good months of that hot market, and then rode the ride in the downturn of short sales, foreclosures, etc. And been doing real estate buying, buyers, sellers, leases. I do all three for 16 years now.
Awesome. Awesome. That's great. Yeah, I know. Isn't it crazy? I started in 85, right? So 36 years ago I started, and I had about same thing, about a year and a half, a little bit more than you, of great market. I mean, I was 20. I was thinking, oh my God, this is the best business in the world. People were telling me, well, Rick, calm down because, the market could change. I was like, what are they, stupid? The market's never going to change. I actually thought that for about a year and a half. And then it changes. It changes quickly, doesn't it?
It does, and there's lots of good ups and lots of good downs, and you just got to kind of get through it all.
Yeah, and and it's a good thing is once you've had a few, you realize, okay, so you can't live like your best, month, right, of closings. You gotta pace yourself. You gotta act like a real business, and it takes people sometimes a while to figure that out, doesn't it?
It does, and I transitioned 7 years ago to being just a solo realtor. My sister, as they say, things in Las Vegas don't always stay in Las Vegas. She met
Uh-huh.
her husband at a blackjack table in Las Vegas and moved to Minnesota. So she's a realtor there, and I became a single realtor here. And that was kind of an interesting transition because she handled listings and I handled buyers and leases. So I took a big jump into the market at that point in time and transitioned and learned a whole bunch of new things.
Awesome. Now, honestly, did she dislike her husband for at least 2 winters, or did she still was the honeymoon glow still on for even during that period?
She spent a lot of the winter here and
Oh,
traveling
good.
back and forth. Yeah, the nice part of that is there's a lot of direct flights, and she did hide the first couple of years here in the desert on and off.
Yes. Although it is the land of 10,000 lakes, we have to give it that.
It,
Yeah,
it is. It's a pretty place as well.
it really is. And it is, talk about green. It is green. Being from New Hampshire,
Yes.
most of my selling career right on the Massachusetts line, it reminded me a lot the first time I went to Minnesota. So anyway, okay,
Yep.
great. Awesome stuff. And you had a very interesting job before this, which you were involved in sports, weren't you? That's how you got to know, parts of Vegas and other areas as well.
Yeah, so when I moved to the desert in 2000 out of college, I worked as a golf pro. And 2002, my twin sister had a golf apparel company, and I transitioned into that and did everything from marketing, customer service, sales, everything for that company. So I've had a golf background, customer service background, and always kind of been an independent person. So real estate's a really, really good fit for me.
Yes, I would say too, especially being where you are. Where I am too. I mean, all of our markets, but you guys have some really spectacular golf courses there too.
We do, and I really like it when I can go out and play golf with my clients and spend 4 hours meeting them, knowing them, and and kind of making a common bond that you can't make in any other way.
Yeah, you know what? You really do get to know somebody how they are by the way they play golf. And I would say, especially by the way they keep score.
Yes, the eraser sometimes gets used, but we do have a lot of fun.
Yeah, my first couple of times out golfing, I was like, "Where's the eraser on this pencil?" Then I realized, oh, there really shouldn't be one. Yeah. No, it's a great sport. You just have to be paid. It's like real estate. You know, people get out to golf and they get when I'm playing with somebody who's brand new who gets mad, I'm like, "What are you possibly getting mad at? You're not good enough to get mad at this yet. It takes time." Okay, eventually someday you might be able to be mad justifiably, but right now, not even close. And myself included, by the way.
Yeah, it's very humbling. It used to be a single digit handicap and not anymore. But now I just go out and enjoy it, and I try not to tell my clients that I ever played golf before because their expectations are a little high. But we have a
Right.
good time.
Yeah, no, that's true too. Being a golf pro, although I would tell you this, I played in a golf tournament back in New England before I left, and we had one of what's that? What's the step below the pro tour for women? What's that called?
I'm
What?
not sure what it's called now, but yeah, the mini tour.
Yeah, right. And we had one girl. We played in a best ball, and we had one woman, young woman, probably like 19 or 20, in our foursome. I'm going to tell you something. Three guys and her, and we probably used 75% of her shots for our best ball. She was good. She was really
Yeah,
good.
it's amazing how good they are these days. So I'm glad that I'm now a real estate professional and not a golf professional.
So much more consistent, isn't it? I mean, the great thing about real estate is if you're good and you're consistent, effort equals results, and it's way more because you can have a great golf shot and it can end up in the wrong fairway or, so it's a very interesting sport. Golf is one of those things where you can be good, but you got to be having a good day too in order to have your best scores. Or real estate, you can have a good
There's a
day.
lot. There's a lot of yeah. There's a lot of luck in golf for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so now tell us a little about since you've been here for 6 months now. That must be exciting, right?
Yes, it's been a wild 6 months. I've been really busy in the market, which has been great, and I'm just starting to get a little bit deeper into the tools that Berkshire has, and really starting to use them, and I'm excited about that.
Good. And what has been your response like when you call your sphere? And I'm sure you've been through everybody and told them you've moved. And what kind of response will you get while you're doing that?
Very positive, and it's also a nice transition to be able to talk to them again, have something new to say. Hey, I just moved, brokerages. Here's what I can offer you, and don't forget about me when you're thinking of buying or selling again.
Right. Right. And you could give them, you could give them a neighborhood report, a market report, which is more general. Yet we have the newsletter, so you can definitely keep them informed with our auto stuff too, which I just love that new V. We just had a training yesterday for all managers and with for the executive and so forth, and it was amazing what that. Imagine I could only imagine when I started in real estate if I had those tools rather than my 1 through 31 accordion file and the U.S. snail mail. What a difference it makes today,
Yeah,
right?
I'm just starting to use the neighborhood and market reports, and I really, really like them. And my clients are giving the feedback that they really like them, which is a great tool.
I know they're really good information. They're written well, very educational. Plus, like I tell people today too, and you'll be able to do this again. Actually, no, you can go door knocking now in California. Just the opened up part is going to happen June 15th. We hope that's what it looks like. But you can go and door knocking today. Like I had people that have really never stopped door knocking in Arizona. Maybe they took a month off. Nevada was about 6 months off. And when they went back out, they realized, when the market's appreciating and you're out talking about listings and sales in the market, you get a warm reception. So I'm going to recommend everybody out there, if you're a door knocker, you can do that now. Get out there and start talking to people because it's a great source of business.
It's really nice to go on listing presentations and have conversations with people, telling them what their house is worth. They almost don't believe it, and you tell them you can really get that if you put it on the market today. So it's great.
Cheryl says hi. Cheryl Toplin says hi, Deb. Great job. Me too. I would agree. Who else? Look at this. And Anetta. Anetta Replago says, good morning. Good morning, Anetta. Yes, I love when people make
Morning.
comments while we're talking live here. It's cool. But I agree. You go out there, you tell them what it's worth, and they're almost like, especially in California. I mean, you guys have such a crazy market. When I say crazy, I mean good. Like people selling, and especially where you are, people are, the people. There are some people leaving California, and this is not a dig on California. It just is. I mean, people have been there a long time. The house is appreciated. They're moving to places like the desert if they don't leave California, or Arizona, California. I mean, Texas, Nevada, if they want, because our cost of living is much lower here, so their money goes further. But you have all kinds of movement going on, and a lot of people coming to you guys from the Bay Area, from San Diego, from LA County, from Orange County, moving out there, right? You have a lot of traffic coming out there.
A lot of traffic from all those places, Oregon, Washington,
Yep.
and a lot of people are moving within the state. A lot of people are moving out of state, and the second home lifestyle, the desert lifestyle, is really what people are moving here for.
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting you say that because the desert is one of those places, La Quinta, the whole area where you guys are, even Palm Springs. When you get out there, just the way it looks in the mountain, it's a very relaxed, and the golf courses, you get a very good, relaxed feeling when you're out there. So I can understand why a lot, and the names of the streets are crazy. I love that. You get a very relaxed feeling out there. So it's a great place to move, especially if you're from California or Washington or Oregon, every place you just mentioned, and you really want to stay there. That's probably the place to be.
And that's really what's fun about selling real estate here is most of the people who are buying want to be here and are on vacation. And the biggest problem I always say we have is if they have too many margaritas at lunch and we have to stop at every bathroom along the way.
That's a good problem to have, right? You just do the driving. All right, we're looking at houses today. Yeah, it's a great place to especially if you're a golfer too. You want to end up there and retire there. It's a great place to be. All right, so tell us a little about how you do your business. Okay,
Sure.
yeah, I'd like to hear that.
Yeah, so my business, a lot of my business is fear and referrals because I've been doing it so long. I have some really great clients that I've had for 16 years, 10 years plus, and they're great sphere for me, referral business, friends who are moving to the desert, friends that are moving up in the desert. And I also do a lot of farming. I do postcards in this last year, really committed to just sold, just listed, and farming the communities that I was selling in. And that really has grown my business in the last year. And now with the new VAC and the market reports, adding email marketing, which I didn't do a lot of before, adding that to complement, as well as social media marketing.
And social media, is that something newer for you? Is that something you just implemented in the last few years?
It's not. I've always been on social media, but
Oh,
I'm
good for
not.
you.
I've been on social media for a very long time, but I haven't always used it as a business tool. I'm not great at telling people I just sold this, yay. But if you don't tell people, they don't know you're working and they don't know what you're doing. And most people just really, really enjoy seeing what's happening in the real estate market.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I'm glad. I was one of the holdouts. I really didn't get into it till about 5 years ago, and so I had to learn it all because I've been in the business for a long time, like over 30 years. But social media was new, and for every reason you just said, Debbie, I was, I'm going to feel like a narcissist. And what I figured out is you get over that really fast because if you're not telling your story, it's almost like you want to put good content on there. Like I'm having an open house. Look at the market. The interest rates are incredible. All that good stuff. And the VAC gives you all kinds of other material as well. But you also have to be telling them your story, documenting what you have going on because then they just see you working all the time. And I think as a whole, the public has gotten used to people showing people what they're doing. As a matter of fact, I think people really enjoy seeing what you're doing.
Absolutely. And I've gotten good feedback on that. Some people also don't like to see that much stuff, but that's okay. They don't have to watch it. But
No.
it also holds me accountable. If I'm not thinking about what I'm going to post that day or what new things are happening, then I might be out of thinking about my business, and it helps me think about my business and what's next.
Yeah, and I think you just said it earlier too. You have to decide: am I going to use this for personal, business, both? I decided a long time ago I'm using it for business because I don't need people in New England to have me. My little joke is I don't need they don't need to know I'm having fish today or take a picture of my plate. I don't like to do that those standard things. I like to be a little funny, have a little fun. Do things like this, interview great people like you. And you're just basically showing people what you're doing, and because they don't really know, it's interesting for them. That's why reality shows are so big today.
Yeah, and I think it's fun. I think it's nice to show a little bit about myself and what I
Yeah,
like to do. I think that helps people relate to you and gives you that initial conversation.
yeah, it really exactly. It gets the conversation started, and there's so many ways to do that: door knocking, phone. Okay, Paul, and there's a whole bunch of ways that you can do that, and I think social media is just one of them, and it's available and it's free, so you should take advantage of it.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, great. So my favorite question I ask producers like yourself is, okay, the new person out there, or maybe the person trying to take it to the next level, what would be the three most important pieces of advice you'd give them?
My number one piece of advice is answer your phone. It's amazing to me when we started in this business how many phone calls and opportunities and listings that we got and I still get by answering my phone, returning phone calls, and how much the public uh, says you're the only realtor that answered the phone. So I made a commitment a long time ago. I answer my phone. If I don't answer it, I'll call you back, and I will most likely do that same day. And now that's the same thing with emails and text messages.
All right, so be available and show them you're a professional by answering phone calls right away when at all possible. Sometimes you'll have to leave a message, but you can get back to them quickly is the key, right?
Absolutely. And I've always watched I've been lucky to be surrounded by a lot of top producers and watched other agents in the business. And if top producers have time, who are selling 50 to 100 million a year to answer their phone, I certainly can answer my phone.
I agree. Okay, so be available, be accessible. Okay, so that's number one. What would be the second most important
The,
piece of?
second is definitely a transition from that. Learn everything you can, whether that's the business side of it, watch the top producers, watch other people in your office, interact with other people in your office. And that's one thing I'm really looking forward to now that the office is opening up, to meet the people in the new office, get to know them and interact on a business level of what are you doing today? How's the market? What are you seeing? And also learn the inventory. If you go out and caravan, you meet people, go drive the neighborhoods, and then when you get that listing opportunity, you have a step ahead of most people.
Excellent. Yeah, I really know the synergy. You're talking about that synergy, and especially you guys in California who haven't been in and seen your coworkers and all that in quite some time. I mean, over a year now. Imagine that. That's a long time, you know. And
It
then
has been a long time. Yeah.
it's almost like cabin fever, right? All right. Don't go postal, anyone. No, just just get in there.
It'll be nice to have that interaction though on a daily basis and or
Right.
whenever you go in the office in caravans and different things that, once you meet the other realtors, if you've met them when you call to present an offer, it's so much easier than if you've never met them before and they don't know your name.
Exactly. Yeah, and you said it too. That brand new office that you guys almost were in there for just a few months, and then boom, everybody has been at home most of the time since then. Yep. All right. Good. All right. So get in there, learn, learn, learn. You're speaking my language. I think you should. Every one of them should become an audiobook freak. Really, audiobooks, books. Listen, read, do all that good stuff, which I love doing every morning. While I'm working out, listening to those books. Okay. So what would be number three on the list?
Three is try everything. I mean, I've tried everything from not much door knocking, but farming, emails, cold calls. Try everything because you never know what's going to work for you, and there's something that's going to work for you in the business. And be willing to try new things, pivot, because what worked for you last year is probably going to be something different this year.
Okay, good. I love it. Yeah, it's so true. Some people, like I'll talk about expired for sale, but oh my God, I could never do that. Have you tried it? No. Well, how do you know? You might like it. or door knocking. Oh my God, that's door knocking, especially in California, it's almost like it's not almost, it is a socially acceptable event. Realtors aren't the only ones that go door knocking too, by the way, in California. There's other people, garage door people, pest people. I remember when I was door knocking in San Diego, I run into people all the time, give them high fives, hey, keep going. And
Yeah,
people,
door knocking isn't as popular here in the desert because of the gated communities.
right.
But my version of door knocking is open houses, and I'm kind of excited to have those back. It was nice to have my weekends, but excited to have those back where I can run into people, I can meet people, and I can be in the farm and neighborhood that I want to be in.
Right. Yep. You can mail and call there, which is good if you have gated communities and so forth, which is a close second for sure. So as long as you're being proactive, that's the key, right? Proactive.
And consistent. Stick with
Yeah.
it. It's not going to happen the first time. If it does, that's great, but it's going to take 6 months to a year for any program to work, and just stick to it.
That's great. Absolutely. Yeah. In my coaching, I'm getting a lot of questions about how long do you think this market's going to last, and what do you see, and I don't know how do you answer that question when people ask you that, Debbie? Are people asking you that question too, like sellers and buyers?
Absolutely. I mean, I think this market's going to last for a couple more years, and it's going to change. It changes every day, but I think it's going to be a seller's market for a while. The interest rates are low, so it's a great time for buyers to buy. And with prices going up, it doesn't affect them as much because interest rates are so low.
Yeah, interest rates are so low, and it's because they're so low. Like if you had a 6 or 7% interest rate, only like 10 or 15% of about 10% actually of your principal would be on the first few years. Where with a 3.5, 4, whatever interest rate, almost over 40% of your payment goes to principal. So even though it is a little bit higher a price, it's getting knocked down a lot faster, and your payment. So what I tell people today, it's the price. Excuse me, it's not the price. It's the square footage. Can you live with the house? And it's the payment. The price is part of it, but you will find that your payment, and if the interest rates were to go up, okay, that would affect it tremendously. That would be a huge difference in your payment.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot of people coming out of markets and cashing out of markets with a lot of equity. And so they're putting 20, 30% down now, but they have plenty of equity, plenty of cash, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Absolutely. And just so you know, Laura Collins and Jessica Clark and Tim Dunn all saying great advice. Thank you very much. So all good stuff. And yeah, you know what? And that's a good point. Coming from Washington, coming from LA, coming from San Francisco, San Diego, Orange County, your area is still a pretty good bargain price for them too, isn't it?
Absolutely. There's not a lot of inventory in the 2,400 to 2,800 square foot home, and 600,000 to 800,000, but that's a hot commodity with a pool and spa, and in a great market for us.
Awesome stuff. Okay, any final words of first off, thank you, Debbie, very much for taking your time out today. We really appreciate it. Really good stuff. Any final words of wisdom you want to leave these wonderful people?
Thank you, and make it a great day. Have a great day. Smile and enjoy it. It's a great time to be in real estate.
It is, it's funny you say that because yesterday on my coaching, Tuesday morning, I was driving to one of our offices to speak at the meeting in Las Vegas, and I had 2 coaching calls on the way over. One of them was like this: "This market's incredible, Rick. It's my 7th week in a row where I've listed a house, whether it be on Sunday or Monday or whatever. I wait till Thursday, I put it on the market, I put an MLS, all showing Saturday and Sunday, and by Monday at noon." We have an acceptable offer under contract. It's my 7th or 8th week in a row, she said, that I've done that. That was my first call. So I was like, I love this market. It's so incredible. My second call, Rick, talk me off the ledge. I'm going to drive into oncoming traffic. I'm like, what's going on? I've had 3 offers in a row that haven't been accepted. I'm not used to having, and because she was dealing with mostly buyers. So, if you're dealing with all sellers, it's great. If you're dealing with all, but let's face it, you can't deal with all one or the other. But if you could keep your business at about 50%, 50-50, I think it would keep you a lot more sane in this market too, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. All right, but you got to be being proactive, like you mentioned, all those proactive things that you do, which are great. Really appreciate your time, Debbie. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll do this again
Thank you,
next
Rick.
week. Thanks, Debbie. Appreciate it. Bye,
Have a great
everybody.
day.